Hi, folks. Welcome to Hitting the Mark with Harry and Mark. I'm your co host, Mark, and this is my co host, Harry.
Hello.
We're two absolute idiots, just like I was about 10 seconds ago, who love talking about shit we have no idea what we're talking about.
Mm,
My God, I literally, instead of fucking answering with Hitting the Mark with Harry and Mark, I'm like, oh, here's my place of business. Ha
yeah.
ha ha, because I'm so used to fucking answering the phone that way. God, what a fucking idiot. Anyway, we hope you have a wonderful night because we're going to have a wonderful night. We're
Mm,
going to get into the issue of cryptozoology and cryptids. We're going to
mm,
talk about our week before that. And we're also going to discuss NFT gaming and some conspiracies. Not related. That'd be fun if they were, but a couple of interesting things. I am completely on the back foot. My wonderful co host, Harry, as always,
mm.
is going to school me in knowledge because unlike me, he reads.
Do
But
I?
Harry,
Yeah.
fucking okay, hold on.
Oh shit.
Like a million years ago when we were talking about the fucking stock market crash of 1928. No, when we were talking about the fucking GameStop issue, your ass was Johnny on the spot with like all the information, all of
Eh,
it,
I
all of
I
it,
read some
all of it,
stuff.
all of it. But
Okay,
yeah,
fair enough.
so yeah, fuck yeah. So anyway, folks, we're going to get right into our day, starting with Bear, the man bear.
Oh, day. All right. Today I woke up, got out of bed, when it started getting changed for work. No. Um, my week has been good. Um, we started Kingdom Hearts 3. Um,
Ooh.
So, Livy and I have been going through the whole Kingdom Hearts series to, story, plot, and everything. Um, and it's cool. I like it. Getting into it. So obviously this started on like PS2, right? So they
Uh-huh.
created, Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2, both on the PS2, and they didn't come out with any um Kingdom Hearts game during the PS3 era. None. None. And obviously this was kind of like a big what the fuck's happening. um, but apparently they did come out with games for the PSP, the phone, and something else. So and for the PS4, when they finally announced Kingdom Hearts 3 was going to come out, they actually made it for both Xbox and PS4. But um, uh, they came out with like a basically like all the games in one for the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox, I believe the Xbox One. Um, and so we're like, oh, it has like all the fucking games before Kingdom Hearts 3 in one fucking disc. Sorry,
Ooh.
two discs,
Uh-huh.
they have them there. So we're like, oh, okay, that's fucking cool. So we've been playing them all through, boom, 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 and then we played the second to last game. Um, and the graphics were a little weird at first, right? It was way more 3D. It was way more realistic looking. We're like, oh wow, this is different, because we're playing Kingdom Hearts 2. We're playing um this thing called Birth by Sleep. It was
Huh.
for the PSP. Kind of had the same graphics as like the older stuff, so like it wasn't too realistic. And then we played this one. It's called like what is this 0.2 or something like that. It's basically like a prequel to the prequel kind of thing, or no, sorry, a prequel to Kingdom Hearts 3. Um, and
So an interquel?
yeah, so it was like between Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3, but there's like other games. Yeah, a sequel to the prequel. Thank you. Um, it's weird, right? It was very confusing when we were playing it and trying to figure out what to play
Wait, hold
first.
on, hold on, hold on, hold
Yeah.
on, hold on,
Yep.
hold on. We got this. Hold on, we got this. Hold on.
Yeah.
So there's the standard game, there's the prequel, and is the next one a direct follow up to the
Okay,
prequel, or is it like a
hold
completely separate story and
on.
characters?
So it's all the same story, right? It's all one
Okay.
long story. Some games have different characters. Most of the games have the same characters. So there's the first one, Kingdom Hearts 1. That's the very first game. And then apparently after that, there's Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories, which came out for the Game Boy Advance. Um, and so that actually continues that story. Um, but if you're only playing like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2, you kind of go into Kingdom Hearts 2 going, what the fuck's happening? But then you just
Hmm.
keep playing. But apparently there's a prequel to it. Two actually. There's a game which is a Chain of Memories, and then there's a like a kind of OVA kind of thing where it's just like a movie, like cutscenes and stuff. And then there's Kingdom Hearts 2. And then after that, there is what is it called? Is that and then is it Birth by Sleep after that? Yeah. So there's Birth by Sleep, which is a prequel to Kingdom Hearts 2. And then you play this game. What's after that? Fuck. Oh yeah. So basically, after the prequel to the whole series, there's this like mobile game where it's like basically after the second one, and
Hmm.
then after that, there's a prequel to the prequel, and then
Hmm.
there's the prequel to Kingdom Hearts 3, and then there's like something else. It was very confusing. It's still fucking confusing. But the biggest thing is there's graphics, and there's the one right before Kingdom Hearts. It was just a little weird, a little different. It was a very short game. It was literally just a prologue. We're like, okay, well that's cool. So then we hop onto Kingdom Hearts 3, and we're like, oh wow, this game looks way different than like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. And then so Livy's been playing them, right? So I haven't really been playing the games. She's been playing them recently. So like, and she was like, it plays just like the game we just played, and it looks just like the game we played. So it's like, it's Kingdom Hearts for like the next generation of consoles, like, which is cool. It actually looks good, but it was really weird when you first play it because you're used to playing like PS2 graphics kind of stuff, just ramped up for HD.
To a million. Yeah.
Yeah. And then this one's just like, this is a game meant for the PS4 and the Xbox One,
Hmm.
and it was just like, oh, that's cool. So maps are like fucking huge. Um, there's like really no transitions. There's like, obviously there's like small corridors between big maps, but still
Hmm.
like it's a huge map. It's insane. A big like size wise, it's just way different. Like you can tell that like fucking technology's advanced since the last Kingdom Hearts has come out.
I fucking
Um,
hope so. You should get your money's worth, Bear.
right? That's what we got so far. So far. And yeah, it's good. It's cool, good. It's cool.
Cool.
It's
Good.
yeah.
Nice.
It's ghoul. Ghoul? Yeah. Um could. Could. Sorry.
You
Um
got this. I
yeah.
believe in you.
I'm just-
Cooled.
yeah.
Gold.
Yeah.
Cooled.
um yeah, it's good. I like it. But that's kind of been my week so far. I'm still playing that Ship Girls game.
You
Getting
fucking.
I'm
Oh
getting
my
I'm
god.
getting more and more into it, man. Now that I'm so like, obviously because it's free to play game, like they like there's a lot of things that are like level capped. Like you can't get this or you can't do this until this level, blah blah. So I've been kind of I'm finally at getting to those points where I can like do things, and
Hmm.
yeah, I'm digging it. I'm digging it. It's still very confusing at points. Especially where like how do I explain it? Like I don't know, like there's certain ships that can't go with other ships because they don't really like mesh together that well, and then certain ships like need like another ship so they can be really good. Cause and if they don't have that other ship, they're kind of trash. So
Right.
it's just getting the a hang of that, and then on the side it's like also like all the gear you're getting, like some of it is just hot garbage, um and some of it's good or decent, and it's probably going to be the best thing that you have until you get something better like down the road in like 3 months. So it's like it's hard to figure that out.
Uh-huh.
But Aved's helped me with that. So that's
Thank you,
Aved's,
Vet.
yeah. Aved's a godsend when it comes to games like these. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
he's a
base.
godsend when it comes to getting you addicted to a game where they're anthropomorphized battleships in the form of waifus.
Yep,
Yeah,
basically.
it's really doing you a favor.
But that's been my week. Work's been all right. Getting a really nice paycheck because I put an extra 8 hours in the week. So yeah,
My poor baby. You should not have had to have worked that much.
I really only worked like 3 to 4 hours, and I got 8 hours worth. So I'll accept that.
Still, you should have worked like 10 minutes.
That's
Like,
what
I
I'm aiming
demand
for.
his pay.
Hmm. Dude, one of these days, like what I would like and what would get me off my ass and work, maybe not more, but um like
Pension.
no, so obviously my job um is just fixing things in apartments, right? So things are always
Hey,
breaking down.
that's important.
D-
Don't you dare
I'm not
knock
saying
that.
it's not. I'm saying like what the thing is, um things are always breaking down. So like
Right.
every day there's always something happening, and it's nice, it's cool, it keeps you off, on your toes and stuff, but there's like times in between like work that I'm just like, fuck, I really don't want to do this next thing. Like, fuck, I don't really want to do that. Because I know as soon as I'm done with it, I'm going to go back and look on the computer. There's going to be like two more fucking things that I got to do. And it's just
Mm,
never ending, you know? But,
yeah. No, I get you on that.
and, I was just like, one of these days I would like a job where like, Harry, this needs to get done before the end of the week. And that's it. Like, that's your
Yeah,
job. Get
you've
this
got
done.
plenty of time, bud.
And I'm like, okay, then I'm just going to fucking
Not do
burn out in the
shit.
first 2 days and then take the rest of the fucking week off. Like
Oh, absolutely.
that, like
Yeah.
I would like, okay, I'm gonna get this done. Like, what do I need to do? Boom. It's just like I don't care how many hours I put on it. Like if I only spend 20 hours working on it, I'm gonna spend the first 20 hours of the week working on it, and then I'll take the rest of the day off or the rest of the week off. Like, all right, I got what you wanted done, on Wednesday morning. Here you go. Peace out. I'll see you Monday morning. Like,
I got that wonderful sweet spot in between like working for a paralegal and trying to become one
mm-hmm.
where they're like, "Oh, hey, this person's medication didn't get renewed. Can you call the adjuster?" And because law is fucking slow, all I have to do is just call the adjuster or the third party and be like, "Hey, can you call the adjuster?" Or call the adjuster and be like, "Hey, can you authorize this?" And they're like, "Yeah, just give me a couple days." Oh, okay. And then I just go back to my paralegal. I'm like, "Hey, it just takes a couple days to do this." And she's like, "Perfect, thank you." I'm like, "Wait, what? Is there anything else we could do?" "No, no, thank you."
Mm.
Fuck. Yeah, you're in the wrong field, bud.
Yeah.
Become a useless paralegal assistant, an assistant to an assistant.
Assistant to an assistant.
What's that fucking office joke? I'm the assistant manager. No, you're the assistant to the manager.
Assistant. Oh, wait. It's the office, right? So it's
Yeah,
assistant of the. No.
you're
Right?
either the assistant manager, right? Or you're the
Assistant
assistant
to the. I
of
think
the manager.
assistant to the manager, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Assistant to the manager. Okay. Yeah. Was it assistant to the manager?
Not
What's that
assistant.
difference? Is that a distinction?
Assistant to the manager? Oh, no. That's when they bring in other people. Yeah, assistant to the manager. Yeah. God, fucking
Oh,
that
good.
fucking show. But Mark,
Yeah, sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
no, I'm done. How's your week?
My week in the
Yeah.
seventh circle of hell, my friend.
Mm.
No, it's fine. It's the grind.
Yeah.
Nothing fancy there. Life and let life. I don't fucking know. Anyway, uh, I have just as
Mm.
you do. I have like an arcane anniversary.
Mm.
So I think when you're a kid, unless you've had like a familial relationship as a kid, you don't really have like a game.
Yeah.
Like I grew up with we know this. We know this.
Mm.
Fucking, I grew up with the PlayStation generation. I played like Spyro, Crash, and I loved all that shit. And I played Naughty Dog when I was younger, and I liked the Uncharted shit, and I like Halo and all that other stuff.
Hey.
But I came into the studio fan thing kind of late with Arcane.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I played Dishonored, Dishonored 2, Prey, fucking Deathloop and all that. Um, and everyone knows I fucking love that shit. Everyone knows I'm going crazy over it. So over the holiday, Dishonored was on sale and Thief was on sale and all the good immersive sims and shit were on sale. So I bought Dishonored and I'm playing it on Steam on my laptop. And I'm going to be going through that catalog of games and giving them a play over because every year I play Prey and I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Dishonored's actually a pretty short game, even if you're trying to be a bit of a completionist.
Yeah.
Might as well just play all of them. So I'm going to be doing that,
Oh, cool.
just as you do with Final Fantasy, and just as
Yes.
I occasionally do with Shadow of the Colossus.
We still need to go through it on my PS4.
Oh, I'm absolutely down.
Mm-hmm. We gotta set
You know
up a
what's a
date.
game
Hmm?
that I? Oh fuck yeah! You know what's a game I actually haven't invested that much time and love into that I actually played once and absolutely fucking loved it?
Hmm.
BioShock. Like,
Interesting.
oh yeah, it's a fucking immersive sim with fucking anti-capitalist undertones and class struggle. Yeah, of course Mark is gonna fucking like it. But yeah, it's really fucking good. Um, I remember going to fucking college casually, whatever that means, and someone describing to me what they loved about BioShock, and halfway through the first half, I was like, "Wow, that's pretty cool." I didn't notice the chains on the fucking hallways and whatnot. Like, oh, they're a slave and all the religion shit. And like, oh, that's really cool. Uh, Fucking Andrew Ryan in his beginning pitch is like, ah, no gods, only men, and there's a giant fucking statue of him to deify him, right? So it's like, oh, cool. It's the pitfalls of objectivism. It's literally Atlas Shrugged 2,
Mm.
right?
Yeah.
Uh, so the first half is like really fucking good, and then he gets into the second half where he's like, "Oh yeah, it's like meta contextual on being a video gamer, and like your opinions of free will and choice, and how you don't really have choice, and like when Andrew Ryan gets you to kill him in the end, it's like, nah, you don't have any control because he's controlling you, and do you have any?" And I'm like, I fucking lost him like halfway through for like almost 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I suffer from this exact same thing where if I'm into something, everyone who listens knows I will probably sound like
Mm-hmm.
uh, someone just like five people talking at once about nothing. I learned what he was talking about eventually, like the concept of like player free will and all that, and how it relates to being an actual video game player. But man, whew, that guy fried my brain for like a good 5 years. Anyway, yeah, that's a game I've actually been wanting to go back to. The Shock family, System Shock, BioShock. I said it before like a month and a half ago, and I'll fucking say it again. Prey should have been Neuroshock or Psycho Shock, so
Mm.
that does fall into that category. I love. The semi horror uh, immersive sim is really fun, at least
Yeah.
in some ways for me. So I've been playing a bit of Dishonored, and I forget how much I absolutely love the art style.
Mm.
Right, uh, the art style has almost like a non photorealistic style. It has a very I don't want to say watercolor,
Mm.
uh, but like canvas painting kind of texture or vibe to it, which I think Dishonored 2 lacks. So Dishonored 1 came out in 2012. It used the Unreal Engine, and I mean I don't think it's a particularly impressive looking game as far
Mm.
as technology goes, but the artistic style that they used, I think, heightens the world and the look and the feel. This kind of like almost surrealist kind of painting vibe that
Okay.
every texture and every look has, that the photorealism of Dishonored 2 and Death of the Outsider doesn't quite capture. It keeps the same kind of exaggeration uh in your typical like character animations, or not character animations, but uh character visuals, how they look and how
Okay.
they're like drawn or how they're shaped. But overall, I think the Void engine is it needs a lot of work.
Mm.
It's really good in Deathloop. It looks fantastic, but I definitely thought there were some issues in the Dishonored franchise. At least it looked great in Prey. It looks great in Deathloop, but I felt like it would have been really nice if that look and feel had kind of carried over into the second game. Anywho, um,
Anywho.
any fuck, it's like I had a memory fart. Oh, guess what? I got another Razor Crest model. It's a big fucking one too. No, I remembered like an idiot that
Mm-hmm.
in August I bought a big fucking Ravel model of the Razor Crest ship. Keep in mind, folks, I don't know what the fuck it is. I'm not crazy about Star Wars models. If there were more fucking sci-fi models that weren't associated with a franchise, I would probably do those more.
Yeah.
Uh, Warhammer doesn't fucking count. But like Star Trek, Star Wars, they usually pump out some great stuff either way, so I fucking do them. It's better than being like a World War II fucking model painter, because those people are just fucking weird. Um, so I have this thing. It's huge, and I've got like 4 fucking Razor Crest models that I just have, not
Mm.
intentionally, I swear. So that's that. I don't know if I mentioned that for Christmas or fucking last year or last week, but I've got boxes of shit that I have to organize. It's fucking awful. I hate getting gifts.
Yeah.
I hate it. Except to you. I got a gift for you, Harry.
Oh god.
When I fucking see you next, I'm gonna get you a gift. Ooh,
Oh
you're
no.
gonna get such a thump to the fucking skull with it too. Anyway, um, so we also got the chance to play. This is gonna shock some people. Left 4 Dead 2
Oh yeah.
for the first significant time. I had played a little bit of it before, but never the length that we did
Mm-hmm.
yesterday. I think, yeah, yesterday.
Yes.
Um, I enjoyed it. The gunplay is just as rewarding. Uh,
Mm.
if they especially since they increased some of the like the kill animations,
Yeah.
uh a wider array of weapons to gonk your zombies over with.
Mm-hmm.
There's a deagle that you can get in replace of your pistols that like literally fucking shoots holes in people, and it's so rewarding to shoot that like I'm pretty certain I fucked up like how I was playing, partially because I was just playing with the deagle.
Yeah. I mean.
um Visual style is great. It looks a teensy bit better, more detail in the animations. The characters are fun, and pretty recognizable. I didn't think they'd be able to do that with Zoe Lewis and Francis and Bill, like in comparison. But they did a pretty good job, like distinctly giving those characters some fleshed out bits.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna have to give the game an F
Mhm.
for being set in the Deep South. I like, oh man, oh my god, you can't. It's like it's like they have the tools for greatness right there, right? Like they have
Yeah.
like the you finally figure out where you're all gonna go for dinner, right?
Yes.
And then someone says, like, "Oh man, I can't wait to go get pizza," and everyone's like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, let's go get pizza." And then there's that one fucker who puts anchovies on it, and you can't. Then you can't, right?
Yeah.
Fucking Left 4 Dead 2, in pretty much I think every significant way, is just as good or just as satisfying or just a tad like more satisfying than Left 4 Dead 1.
Mm.
Um, I think just about every edition does enhance the gameplay, like the jockeys, the spitters, the chargers. They're fairly interesting. Um, I do think their introductions do enhance the game. They are fairly distinct. I think maybe the charger is not quite as distinct, but like the spitter or the charger or the spitter and the jockey are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Um, but I just can't get over the fact that it's set in the fucking South. Like the first one had like this maybe northeast or like Ohio kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So like it was either on like the East Coast or it had like some like Great Lakes kind of feeling to it, you know?
Yeah.
Uh like smoky like city with a little bit of like suburban and rural areas to it.
Yep.
And that was like really great, right? It gave off this like this typical horror vibe. Not typical, but like very recognizable vibe. And then as soon as the fucking uh opening scene starts for Left 4 Dead 2, you hear the beautiful fucking Left 4 Dead music, except it's on a fucking banjo.
Yeah.
I just I don't know what was going through their heads. They were like, "Oh, hey, uh nothing inherently is going to be different about like the locations where you're going to be playing. Like everything looks really good, except you've got a fucking hillbilly in your group who, let's be honest, I think this guy's an anti-vaxxer. Okay, just saying. Uh, and fucking the ending for half of these is like hillbilly themed. Like it can't just be like, oh, you escape on a helicopter. Oh, you escape on a fucking a tank. No, no, they're like, oh, you got to escape on a mall hot rod from a Formula One or fucking NASCAR driver. Yeah, and then no, you can't just escape in like an abandoned area. You got to escape on a fucking a Doobie Brothers or like a fucking oh god, who are those assholes with the long facial hair and the
Oh, ZZ
hats?
Tops?
Yeah,
No. Is it ZZ
no,
Top?
no, no, no,
No.
no, 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 no. They made a fucking joke about Hank Hill being related to one of them in King of the Hill. Oh god, it's gonna kill me. Doesn't
Oh.
matter. No, no, you got to escape via helicopter while at a fucking country concert. Nope. I don't understand. It's like they were like, "Oh, let's take all of our ideas." Oh, oh,
Bless
oh,
you.
oh god. It's like, "Oh, let's take all of our ideas and throw them out the window and come up with an idea after all of those." It's like the redheaded stepchild of every horror franchise.
Mhm.
It's like, "Oh, we've reached all of the end of ideas for for Friday the 13th. Oh, let's put Jason in space. Oh, cool. Oh, we've ran out of ideas for the Leprechaun. Oh, let's put him in the hood, and we'll put him in space. Oh,
And we'll
cool,
put him in
cool, cool.
space.
Fucking, it's like, it's like, oh, they couldn't have just, put it in a like, how do I put it? A non-topical area, or like, a nondescript area. It's
Yeah.
one thing that it's like, oh, it's in the South. That's fine. But like the banjos, the fucking banjos,
The
and the
fucking
fucking
badges.
escaping on a NASCAR car. Like, this alone is a travesty. Apparently, there was a movement in 2009 to boycott Left 4 Dead 2. It was like a big fucking thing because
Really?
they wanted, yeah. Didn't hear about this until I watched a funny video by, God, I'm gonna butcher the fuck. Doesn't matter. Watch this video comparing Turtle Rock Studios now to Valve back then,
Yeah.
and they were going into this protest that happened in 2009, just before the release of Left 4 Dead 2.
Uh-huh.
And I feel like they were protesting it for all the wrong reasons, like, oh man, they're making a second game to like leech money off of people when they can just provide DLC for free that'll enrich the first game. Oh, that's so invalid of an argument for me to make. Sarcasm.
Yeah.
But no, like they argued that instead of, why is this game overtly being southern as fuck? Like, guys, you lost the Civil War, okay? You don't get any bragging rights over anything. You guys got the Dukes of Hazzard, and then that was it. That's all you get, okay? That's all,
Yeah.
and that's it. No, jokes aside, fun game. Really rewarding. They added all the original characters too, and they have a shitload of maps I'd love to go through and check out.
Mhm.
Um, so I'm interested in exploring that. And Payday 2. Payday 2 is, you get to live out your bank robbing fantasy. Except it's really frustrating for me, as I explained to Aved after everyone hopped off, that I can't stealth everything.
Yeah.
And Aved literally, artificially turns to me because he's like hundreds of miles away. He literally just stopped what he was doing and turned to the general direction I am, like hundreds of miles south, and was like, the developer's name of Payday 2 is Overkill Studios. I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense that they
Mhm.
would make a bank robbery game. Overkill Studios. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with that. Uh, I'm not a cold, heartless bastard like you are, Harry, so I don't like to just kill hostages.
Yes.
Um, that being said, I am trying to go like with a more stealthy, like, I don't want to kill you, but I'll have to if I have to kind of thing,
Yeah.
and then move on to the bloodthirsty shit, just so I can get more money, more buku. Okay, it's
Okay.
about the money for me. Okay,
Yeah.
it's about the money, not sending a message.
Fair enough.
So yeah. Other than that, I haven't been doing much. Signing up for some classes as usual, so my schedule's gonna be fucking busy. Uh, and yeah, God, I don't know how I made that a bit. Anyway, Harry, what would
Yes.
you like to talk about?
Shit, man. I don't know. No. So in this week's topics, uh, let's, man, we got, I think that, okay. So let's do conspiracies because I feel like the crypto and the NFT we can really delve into. So we'll save that afterwards.
You're gonna have to do the delving because I have the fucking memory of a salmon or a
Got it.
goldfish. But yes, crypto zoology and conspiracies. Um, what about what conspiracy aspect would you like to talk about? Because I know that I wanted to talk about, I think, cryptozoology and cryptids and some like urban legendy folklore stuff, just
Mm-hmm.
because that's, I think, the funner, if I am allowed to say that, like the funner aspects
Uh-huh.
of conspiracy theories. Like, I don't think I've ever met anyone who stormed the Capitol because the Loch Ness monster either does or does not exist, right?
Right.
Or like no one went up and was like, the Mothman told me to kidnap a sitting congresswoman,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Very true.
Uh so so let's delve into what you wanted to delve in first, and then we can delve.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, what was it? So on the conspiracy, do you have the conspiracy chart in front of you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So we're in the we did the first two sections.
So we did the first two. So this
So
was
we're in the
real shit
pink.
that the government fucking did, and we're
Yep.
not happy about it.
Mm-hmm.
The second one was like funny pop culture. Everyone has like heard of it kind of joke
Mm-hmm.
stuff. Maybe not the Denver International shit. That's a little silly. But
Yeah.
like the Iran Contra belongs in speculation. Like UFOs, Epstein, Area 51. This is all shit everyone just loves to joke about. Like,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
Like it's like, oh yeah, oh fucking everyone's got an opinion.
Yeah.
And then reality denial again. This is kind of like this is, as I said before, this is the area, or hold on, level 3 reality denial is
Yes.
like kind of a little like you meet someone and then they talk about it and they start talking a little too much and you're like, "Oh, this is kind of weird." But like
Yes.
hats off to you, bro, as long as you're not being an asshole.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, is this the one that we wanted to start getting into?
Yeah. Let's get into this one. I feel like this one's. I agree. Definitely. Reality denial. Some of these are like the one that just straight up made me laugh was like Stevie Wonder isn't blind. Um, like what? Uh,
So how
um,
does that work? Does he like does he do the thing where he just like looks up and just like lets his eyes kind of go and
yeah,
just does that? Or does he like does he really commit? Does he wear like blackened glasses and he's just so good at fucking pianoing that he just fucking memorizes that shit off? Or or does he look at the keys? Like that's what I want to know.
yeah, I honestly have no. I can't answer you that because I don't know. I don't know, like why people would think that. Like some of these are just weird. Like, uh, Ted Cruz is a Zodiac killer. Like,
Oh god.
he would be too
I
young for that,
That's
right?
a meme. Like it to me it's a okay. Yes, I completely agree. He should be too young.
Yeah.
But like that's a like I see that as a meme,
Yeah.
right? Like that's the kind of thing that people joke about, like his incest porn like history, right?
Yeah.
Like that's just like, oh, this guy's a really powerful and dangerous and ideologically psychotic goofball.
Mhm.
Um, let's make a joke proportionate to his insanity.
Yeah. Like,
Zodiac.
that's so weird. Michael Jackson's still alive. Elvis lives. Those are kind of in the same vein. Uh,
Yeah, if you go on fucking Wikipedia, it literally says Ted Cruz Zodiac Killer meme is an internet meme which circulated in 2015. Uh, a facetious conspiracy theory memes suggest that Ted Cruz, United States Senator and former 2000 presidential candidate, is the Zodiac Killer. None of identified serial killer active in the late 60s and early 70s. Cruz, born in 1970, could not have committed these murders, which began before his birth. not not to mention, by the way, um, that Ted Cruz, I think, was born in Canada.
Hmm.
So I don't know. Man, you know what? I think we have our reality denial wrong. So I need you to hear
Mm.
me out.
Okay.
I don't think, because one of the conspiracy theories is that Greta Thunberg is a time traveler. I think
Mm.
Ted Cruz is a time traveler
Oh.
that is also the Zodiac killer. So, like,
Oh.
see what happened is there's a there's a there's a place that Ted Cruz goes to when he's really stressed about like peddling the shit he doesn't believe in.
Yeah.
Like a Lion Witch in the wardrobe. He walks into a wardrobe. He goes into like the last remaining phone booth in Washington. He disappears. He wakes up in 1970 San Francisco, and then just like murders people. He gets it off his chest. He goes back, and he just rinses and repeats when it's too much for him to handle.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's way more believable. I don't know why Minton. We should perpetuate that. Keep it alive. The
Suck it.
psychopaths the psychopaths doing fucking QAnon don't get anything. But
Ah,
man, we would get in so much trouble.
yeah.
Dude, you know what's fucking weird about living on the fifth fucking story of an
Mm.
apartment building? You fucking hear everything. I'm sorry, this is a momentary little thing.
Yes.
I every so often, I don't know if it's a homeless person or there's some kind of domestic dispute. I've
Uh-huh.
called, just to be clear. Um uh to do a wellness check around the
Yeah.
area, and like they haven't been able to get back because I can't pinpoint where it's going, what the fuck on. But like there is a woman screaming at no one can hear this, by the way,
Mm.
but like there's a woman screaming at the top of her fucking lungs every other night. And it's not like opera Christine I Love You from Phantom of the
Yeah.
Opera. It's like back of your throat, like like except higher pitch, and it's like cursing and I fucking hate you and why and I fucking like it's so mm, that
Interesting.
that just gets me right there. I don't fucking know. Anyway, I gotta go back in time to San Francisco now to let off some steam.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna be a thing now.
Yeah, fucking. Anyway, okay. So, um, here's one thing that I actually thought was really interesting.
Mm.
There's another one on here that says that Prince uh, that says Prince Charles is a vampire.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Um, this one is good because there's like a modicum of history behind that.
Mm.
Um, Prince Charles apparently does descend from Dracula or something along those lines.
Interesting.
So Vlad of Wallachia uh, fought the Ottoman Turks, I believe, like 700 years ago. Um, so Charles has some kind of relative who is a descendant of Vlad the Impaler, Vlad the
Oh.
Dracul of Wallachia.
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's see. Let's see if I can find it. Is Charles related to Dracula? A royal family. The royal family has links to several countries across Europe, including Romania. And it turns out that Prince Charles is the descendant of the real life Dracula. The Prince of Wales, who actually owns several properties in Transylvania, that doesn't say anything, it just says that he is. God damn it. Anyway, apparently, fucking he has a very, very, very distant relation to the man who would be of the Order of the Dragon.
Hmm.
Um, I love this. I absolutely love this. Um, I feel it's in perfect taste now, that he's dead. Uh, that probably doesn't make things better, mind you.
Yeah.
Uh, but I feel like we're at this point now where the joke will either not joke, the conspiracy theory will either like die or just grow more absurd depending on who believes it, right?
Mm, yeah.
Like, oh, turns out he wasn't a vampire, or like, oh no, it's like you don't understand. He wasn't feeding on enough blood, or it's like, oh, he spent too much time out in the sun. It's like, oh, he wasn't wearing enough fucking mascara to hide the sun and the UV rays touching his eyeballs. Like there I really do feel like you're gonna get like a bunch of people who could extrapolate from that. I don't think this
Yeah.
is like a huge thing. Like again, I would probably imagine that this is meme content that a couple people take relatively seriously. But nothing too crazy at the moment.
Yeah.
like like what it says on the side, it's like, so at the top of these little triangles it has like speculation, relieving reality denial, and on the side it kind of, and again I don't know I can't really vet whose this is. It does seem a little out of sorts with a couple of them.
Hmm.
But for the most part, I would agree that the naming and the severity of these is pretty on point. Like we have questions unequivocally false but mostly harmless, dangerous to yourself and others, and world ruled by supreme shadow elite, promoted hatred and violence towards marginalized groups.
Yeah.
We have like another week or 2 weeks before we fucking get to that. Maybe, I don't know, or we
Yeah.
could get to that today. Uh, but yeah, so God,
Like,
Stevie Wonder isn't blind is perfectly in the middle of its little triangle,
yeah.
and is in like the most unassuming font, right? Like, it's not grabbing attention, but you're gonna see it.
Yes.
And it's so good. It's so goddamn good.
Yeah.
Alien
It's
Abductions. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
no,
You
no,
can
no.
jump in.
Yeah, I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah, it is. Alien abductions.
So let me look up Tupac in Siberia.
Oh yeah, that one also I was looking at. I was like, wait, what? That one was a
So I did look up,
weird
yeah,
one.
I looked up some of the stuff. I'm gonna have to listen to you on that one. But Alien Abductions, it was so weird because I think the '90s really, really like wanted to market
Mm-hmm.
like these real stories. There was Fire in the Sky, which I think is the most popular one, um, which is a film based off of a book, I think, or based
Oh.
off of real events. Uh, about an abduction.
Oh.
And it was basically a guy gets kidnapped. Uh, his four friends try to say, like, hey, he was abducted. No one fucking believed them. Then he comes back, fucking psycho. And it ruins their relationship and their friendship and whatnot. All this other crazy shit. The Walton Experience
Okay.
was an alleged alien abduction of American forestry worker Travis Walton by the UFO on November 5th, 1975. He was working the Apache something something National Forest near Snowflake, Arizona, missing for 5 days. And then he just came back. And there's this great fucking bit um, where it's like, we can't just follow his point of view or the point of view of the friends not knowing what happened. Like it's unambiguously um an alien abduction film. right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we go into this fucking we go into this extended scene where he wakes up in the alien craft and he's being experimented on.
Ah.
And it's fucking creepy. Anyway, there are always like stories of people seeing a bright light, being well, maybe not being experimented on, but at the very least, like being out in the middle of nowhere, seeing this faster than light object come toward them and just like being pulled up in a bright light. Um, there's always this like desire to kind of play with the not the mythology of it, but like the paranoia around it, right?
Okay.
Like let's market this like this event, or let's try to make a quick buck off of it. I remember what's that? The Fourth Kind, right?
Yes.
Uh God, fucking the movie's kind of creepy when a movie's creepy if it's a horror film, a supernatural horror film, and it's got the taglines underneath it based on a true story.
Yeah.
Um I don't think it lends to any credence to being right, but for some reason, like the idea of an owl being like a symbol of alien abduction and like how that movie is filmed with like based on a true story makes it creepier.
Mm.
And they're like, oh, this is real recorded footage, and you have them saying like, ah, Babylon, da da, and this person's fucking face is all deformed and shit, whatever. It's creepy. Like, it's so odd when an event happens and then there's a movie that tries to like process it
Yeah.
and make profit off of it and like further scares people by saying, "Oh, this is based off of a true story. Let's get people in seats and see shit," right?
Yeah.
Fucking have you ever been abducted by aliens, Harry?
No. When I was younger, I thought people actually got abducted by aliens. I saw the weird abduction fucking shows and episodes on TV and shit. I was,
Mm,
you know, so I don't know if I've told you, but I've had a weird experience. I'm not saying it's alien abduction, but I had a weird experience. Um, when I was younger, I was living in Stockton still. And my mom was tucking me in for bed. I had school the next day, and so I'm like, all right, good night. And so like I close my eyes, and I'm just like, all right, let's go to sleep. And then my mom like, hey, wake up. I'm like, yeah, what's up? You know, what's going on?
mm,
She's like, get up. You gotta get ready for school. I'm like, wow, what are you talking about? Like, come on, let's go. You gotta get up. I was like, what? And I looked at the clock. It was like my alarm like was going on. Like, what the fuck? Like, uh, what? Like, what happened? Like, what? I don't know what's going on. Like,
mm,
no joke. I literally closed my eyes for like a few seconds and I woke up. Like, I don't remember anything. Like, all I remember is closing my eyes and then my mom was waking me up. I'm like,
oof.
I was
Yeah,
like,
that
what?
weird fucking lost time is odd.
And I was really confused. And I was telling my mom, like, what do you like? I just fell asleep. You just put me to sleep right now. It's like, no, Harry, it's time to get up to go to school. And it was like, it to this day, I have no clue what the fuck happened that night. Like, I don't, and like watching those like shows or episodes or whatever, like that's one of the things that they talk about, how like you don't like you feel like like you feel like you lost something in between when you got abducted or whatever. And that always stuck to me. I was like, holy fuck, what if I got abducted by aliens that night or whatever? I mean, I feel like there's no way, right? Because like me and my brother were sleeping in the same room, and my parents, like there's a lot of things that I'm just kind of questionable, but like it's still like there's like that thing, in the back of your mind, like,
Yeah.
like
What the
fuck,
fuck
what?
happens in situations like that when just time is gone, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's no way to explain what you're like. Yeah, sure, you could have lost time, whatever, or like, but how do you explain that? Like, what part of the brain does shit like that, right?
Yeah, that's exactly what was going and to this day. I still have no clue what the fuck happened. So
Yeah.
yeah, like I'm skeptical. Like I believe there is what you would call aliens. Like I feel like there really is something out there. Um but cuz like I've seen some of those fucking videos of um like cows that were like people just like find their cows like fucking mutilated, like not like someone came in and just like murdered the cow, like straight up like surgically removed like organs and all this shit like overnight, and the body like looks like it's been decayed for fucking months. Like there's just like what the fuck is this? It's like I don't know, very questionable things. Like I don't know. It's just one of those that like yeah, like I think the description of leaving reality is very like 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 it's like I don't know, like I think some of these are like like I said, like Stevie Wonder isn't blind, kind of like it's funny, right? It's funny, and it's
Yeah.
always gonna be funny, but like there's like stuff like that, and then like the whole Elvis lives, like I'm not sure about that, right? But like there's like
I
people who
think,
say
yeah.
like that it's like the fuck, what was it, there's a big, I'm surprised it's not on here, man. There's a conspiracy about how fucking what's his face, guy from the Beatles, not
George
Lennon,
Harrison,
no, not George, the other,
Ringo,
no, the literally the last guy we haven't said.
Paul
Yeah,
McCartney.
Paul McCartney, how he like died, I think in the
Oh,
60,
right,
like early
yeah.
60s or something like that, and like they
Fucking
like
Abbey
replace,
Road album.
yeah,
Yeah.
they like replaced him and shit, and like that's the reason why they didn't like play live shows anymore. Just weird shit, right? Like I remember I was watching a documentary over it, and I was like, "Whoa, that's fucking crazy." But like, looking more into it, I'm just like, well, actually, you know what I mean? Like, you really think about it, and like you actually look up some information. It's like I can kind of like prove you wrong in multiple fronts, right?
Uh,
Um, so
I
which
think
is
I I think the alien abduction stuff has a far more personal feeling to it.
for
When I bring
myself,
up like,
yes.
yeah, when I bring up the fourth kind, and when you
Mm-hmm.
talk about stuff like lost time and whatnot, like let's be clear real quick. The movie is a scam that trivialized real events and said, "Oh, this is actually real," when it obviously wasn't.
Yeah.
And they got in a lot of shit earlier uh, for taking real missing people and kind of like, "Oh no, see, this is the shit that I was talking about with like the Warrens from The Conjuring, where it's like, oh,
Yeah.
let's make a fun fiction out of something that happened very recently." It would be like, it probably wouldn't be the same to a lot of people. It'd be like, oh, what if fucking slug people possessed the 19 people who hijacked all the planes and ran them into the World Trade Center because, for whatever reason. I'd be like, "Oh, that'd be kind of morbid and gross."
Right.
Like, but when back on point, that's just a movie. But I think the concept of an inexplicable force able at any point to anyone coming into your house without understanding the intent and without understanding like what they would do, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like it's frightening the idea that you can be just taken. Like who get okay, fine, fucking Elvis, he's alive. Okay, fucking whatever. I don't give a shit. That doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Fucking Kylie Jenner's a clone. Okay, who gives a shit? Like whatever. It's kind of interesting, I guess. Tupac's in Siberia. Cool. Hope he's got some nice fucking hot toddies while he's fucking chilling in Siberia. But like the idea of a force whose intentions we don't know able to come down and are watching us and experimenting on us and us not knowing why with devices or means that we can't understand. It's it's like it's it's Lovecraftian, right? It's like
Yeah.
it's not so much like if a doctor just grabbed you out of nowhere and was just like kind of like prodding you and poking you. It was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna stick this like syringe in your thigh and like I don't know, pull muscle matter or something." Be like, "Oh, that's fucking awful." And the fear would come from like the psychological like willpower it
Hmm.
would take for someone to do that and the pain, right, that you would get from that. But
Yeah.
like in most of these stories, it's like people don't have any like concept of what's happening to them, right?
Yeah.
Like talk about the Greys and they talk about like this foreign looking spaceship or whatever, or especially in fucking in the Fourth Kind with its fucking like weird language shit going on.
Hmm.
Like there's just something so unnerving about a force that we don't understand doing stuff to us that we will never comprehend. You'll never get answers. Like
Right.
assuming all of this is real. I don't care. I don't know. Like if they're real, cool. If not, cool. We like I don't think anything is going to be particularly Independence Day like
Yeah.
if that ever happens. Uh but yeah, like it has no like variable on my life until it does. So it's cool to make stories about it and let your imagination run fucking wild. But they back to the point. There is a difference. I think the reason it persists is because it's like there was the hoax. There was Area 9 Area I almost said Area 91. There was Area 51. you know, and it just kind of set off people's imaginations. And people keep writing books and like little fun little fucking tell-alls about how they were like abducted by these things whose like intentions we don't know, right?
Yeah.
Like if a human commits what we would consider like a coercive act, it's typically because like they're like psychotic or they're cruel or they're desperate or like
Hmm.
there's some malice. But it's
Yeah.
like it's almost frightening if there isn't any of that, right?
Hmm.
Like because you can both at the same time remove all of those human aspects of what it is and at the same time add all of those human aspects in, right? Like
Yeah.
the guy explains like, "Oh, I was in this weird egg sac like honeycomb beehive thing and I like crawled out and there were like this grime that I was in and I could see people decomposing and the aliens grabbed me and I was naked and they were putting things in me and it's like, oh fuck, what was all that for?" And the fear that like marketable fear
Hmm.
comes from like not knowing and not wanting to tell people exactly. Because if you made a movie where it was like, oh, the aliens want to harvest our adrenal glands, or like in the fucking Predator, oh, they want to harvest autism to be better hunters, like, oh, okay, cool. But what scares people is not knowing and the
Yeah.
feeling of being watched and the feeling of being seen without understanding.
Hmm.
That's what gets people that alienation from any kind of human desire, right? Like there's a desire they in these movies and stories were the target of observation. But what observation? Whose observation?
Hmm.
Why? What's the benefit? Like is this
Yeah.
some species that just fucks with people and then fucks off? Are they doing something? Is something being done to us on a large scale? Is something being done halfway across the galaxy to something else because of what they found in us? We'll never
Right.
know. Ever. Fucking ever.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is so potent about alien abduction stories, at least for me. Um, like fucking uh, Michael Jackson's still alive. Zodiac killer Ted Cruz, Avril Lavigne replaced. Like this all has stuff that like has very human consequences, right? Like, oh, we replaced Avril Lavigne because she was talking too much truth to power, or like Tupac's alive and he faked his death or something because he was talking too much truth to power.
Mm.
Uh, fucking Prince Charles is a vampire, but we killed him because he was talking too much truth to power.
Yeah.
But like, I keep beating this over like beating a dead horse. It's that fear of not knowing of
Yeah.
what it is, and all these others are pretty benign compared to it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, oh God, it's you know what it gets me? It's the Prince Charles vampire. It just of all of the things, right? Like, oh, it's so good. It's so good. I
Yeah.
don't know what it is. It's my personal favorite of this little grouping.
Okay.
Anyway, um, do we want to move on to the next one, or do we want to? Are there anyone around? Oh no, wait, cryptids.
Cryptids.
Cryptids. So cryptids are, I believe, a branch of cryptozoology.
Okay.
So they're like very popular creatures within cryptozoology. Cryptozoology um is this Jesus, there she fucking is screaming again. I feel like fucking Michael Myers is like walk chasing her every time. Or maybe she's being abducted by aliens.
Yeah.
Uh let's see. Cryptozoology. Let's hear a pretty standard definition of it. Cryptozoology is a pseudoscience and subculture that searches for and studies unknown, legendary, or extinct animals whose present existence is disputed or unsubstantiated.
Yes.
So that'll include like folkloric animals or animals of legend, Loch Ness monster, Yeti, Bigfoot. Um, these are pretty fun because, like I said before, these are fairly innocent
Mm-hmm.
things. Like, I don't think I've ever seen anyone kill someone over like whether or not Bigfoot exists.
Right. Not yet, at least.
Yeah, right. I vote Bigfoot 2024.
Yeah.
Uh, so an a cryptid. This is a list of cryptids, which are animals that cryptozoologists believe may exist somewhere in the world, but are not believed to exist in mainstream science. So like fringy kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, you got your main ones. You got your Loch Ness monster. You got Nessie. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You, you got your Bigfoot. You got your Jersey Devil. Jersey Devil's a particularly fun one. I like Jersey Devil.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my personal favorite is still the Mothman. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
you go online, uh, you look up fucking Mothman, you're gonna see a bunch of absolutely fucking psychotic images of Mothman. Um, Moth. If you look up Mothman on Google, by the way, it'll show you 4 images.
Mm.
Two of them are kind of like weird. One of them is a statue, and the other one is Donald Trump.
Okay.
Yeah. Mothman was one of those characters that like I watched a movie on in the early 2000s that had that same kind of vibe as Alien Abduction. It
Mm-hmm.
was like the Mothman prophecies with Richard Gere and Laura Linney.
Okay.
Uh, and it was like it had all this scary shit, like it felt like it could be real. Um, and the idea is in the movie that the Mothman will just like hang out outside people's places and probably masturbate, right?
Huh. Yeah.
And then he'll fly off. No, no, kidding. Um, the movie kind of like does this weird thing where it has like this voyeur aspect where the Mothman kind of just they're investigating a couple people and the Mothman is kind of just like floating around people's fucking areas kind of
Mm,
scarily and flies off. But
okay.
there are two people that the Mothman contacts,
Okay.
and the Mothman supposedly takes the form of a human being a good portion of the time when it's discussing what it wants to discuss. And what it's trying to discuss is uh things that are bad things that are going to happen
Yeah.
in like cryptic kind of ways. And the movie's kind of silly, I'm not going to lie. It scared the ever living shit out of me when I was younger.
Okay.
Uh I don't know how it's a movie about a fucking moth person. Um, but there's a really fun line in the movie where our main character Richard Gere goes to find this guy who's been, just destroyed by, his belief in the Mothman. And he goes up and they're walking like this plaza. And he says, take a look at that guy up there on the the cleaning platform thing outside. You think he's smarter than us? Probably not, right? Probably an average guy. But from his perspective, he can see a lot more than we can. Uh, and I thought it was cool, and it kind of bled into the entire movie where it's like, oh, the Mothman is warning people about fucking natural disasters,
Hmm.
but I get the impression that the Mothman is like just kind of this like chronic masturbator that hangs outside people's places. I I I can't get past it. I
Mm,
really can't. I wish I could.
yeah.
I wish I had another reason for you, but I don't. If you just look at the photos of this guy, you just you can't tell me he doesn't just like beat off outside someone's window. Like the black silhouette, the big red beady eyes. Like, come on, come
Yeah.
on. I actually would love to read a book on this guy.
Hmm.
Uh, they have festivals to this dude. Uh, he kind of goes into like a bunch of other kind of like Appalachian, uh, semi out west kind of not out west, midwestern kind of folklore.
Hmm.
Uh, but yeah, he's my all-time favorite, mainly because of the movie. I actually have to do more readings on him. But another such one
Yeah.
is like Chupacabra, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Classic.
Fucking the classicist. I would argue that he's like top five. Mothman is like barely a substitution for
Mm,
like number five. But this is essentially like uh the people who like to wear really short shorts, and then the people who like to wear really big sweaters. You
hmm.
can't have anyone in the middle, right? You have to have
Yes.
the person who's like, I want to go on all of these like things and possibly see the Loch Ness monster, and then you have like the person in their basement who just emphatically says it's real without doing the tour. And it really pisses me off that they don't do the tour and just say that he's real. It really does. Um, if you go on the
Well, they,
Vakapadja,
they they gotta make money somehow, man.
yeah, but like it's just lazy. No,
Yeah. Yeah. No, no, no. I get what you're saying, but yeah, it
yeah.
just
So
seems to like going off topic. No, actually,
no, no,
no, no,
please.
no, no. It's actually on topic because we're talking about conspiracies. Um, have you ever seen the documentary Behind the Curve on Netflix?
No.
I highly recommend it. It's about flat Earth. Um,
Oh God, yes.
so basically, like these. big flat Earth people, right? Very known people who are basically making a living off of telling these people that the Earth is flat and so on and so forth. And basically, that's kind of where the Loch Ness monster comes in, right? Like they can easily be like, yeah, no,
Please,
it's not
God,
real.
don't link the fucking Loch Ness monster. Don't link the Loch Ness monster into the flat Earth, please, Jesus.
Well, I'm just saying, like in the same vein of like they could. It seems like there's a way that they're hurting people by saying like, oh yeah, this and that could be real. Is the same vein of like flat earthers. At
Mhm.
least the um, how do you say, the people who are like promoting flat Earth, right, on YouTube, on social media, and all that stuff, like would be in the same vein because they're all kind of um like you're can't find the right words, man. Um, like you're hurting people by telling them lies because they believe these lies and they're getting hurt from it.
Mhm.
In the documentary, a lot of people who go towards the flat Earth theory stuff and they get really involved in it, they lose friends, family, like their
Mhm.
kids, their wife, like just leave them. Their siblings, their parents, like just disown them because they're like, "Are you fucking kidding me? Like you believe the Earth is flat, and you're
Yeah.
like going like you're arguing it, and you're upset with me because I don't believe the shit you're saying. Like, dude, come on. These people are like losing, their lives on not like literally losing their lives, but you know what I mean. They're just no longer having lives that they used to have, and then they have this community that they're involved in now, right? Like this flat Earth community, and all of a sudden, when they realize, oh shit, it isn't real, they have nowhere to go but to stay in this
Mhm.
community because they accept them.
It's yes. Oh yes. Yes. I've heard that. And you're saying stuff that isn't quite different from like some of the modern issues that a lot of like not Trumpers necessarily are having,
Right.
but like people within that orbit are having. Like
Yeah.
the reason I'm so excited about cryptid stuff is I have never ran into someone who's been like, uh, it'd be so cool to see Bigfoot and
Hmm.
the Jews are running the world and we need to stop them.
Yeah.
Right? Like there is there are certain things, right? There are certain beliefs or at least certain uh not I don't modes or there are certain kinds of conspiracy theories which are
Yes.
marketable,
Hmm.
right? And
Yes.
then like with the flat earth folks, like they just get fucking conned.
Yeah.
Buy this merch, be a part of this organization, do this,
Hmm.
do that. And it's like I'm interested in why I keep saying like, "Oh, here's the portion of the conspiracy theory where you can everyone has that opinion, right?"
Hmm.
Like it isn't a particularly like volatile thing. But then there are some where it's like you can go down a fucking pipeline, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like,
Hmm.
oh, the world is flat. Okay. Um, there's a pizza joint which has children and is harvesting their like fear gland, the adrenochrome,
Yeah.
right? And it's like that has, as we've learned, has had serious repercussions,
Yep.
right?
Hmm.
Like big fucking issues. And I just I would actually really love to know where that goes. Like the behavior of the person who is into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like are they how do they believe that? Like I get that like you and I have information based on stuff that we've like learned and don't quite research it in a way that would like I'm not a fucking scientist. I'm not like a heliocentric like scientist
Yeah.
or anything like that. But I have a cursory understanding at least of how it works. and then like then you have the flat earth folks like who are like, well, how do you know that's true? And there's like a certain amount of information that I think is just missing somehow. And I don't know. I really don't know.
No, yeah, you're in the you're in the right vein. Um,
Yeah.
it's like it's that thing where, how do I describe it? We just have to trust. Like, it's not full blind faith. Like, oh yeah, they're 100%. They're telling the 100% truth. Like, you just can't do that. You
Yeah.
can't just say like, oh, these like, let's just go, with what's happening now, right? With the vaccines and all that. Like,
Hmm.
do I know 100% true that fucking these scientists are telling the truth and like the vaccines are working and all this shit? Like, no, no, I'm not 100% um sure about it, because yeah, there is a really, really, really small chance that all this shit is a lie and I'm in a fucking, they're lying to us and all this other stuff. And but at the same time, the likelihood of it being that way is very fucking small.
Yeah.
Very fucking small. And I have to put, not faith, but I have to put my trust into professionals
Hmm.
to do their job and get shit done. Just
Yeah.
like me on my job, people expect me to do my job and know what the fuck
Yeah.
I'm doing. Like, you rely on professionals, which is like, again, my trade. When your sink's not, when something's clogged, are you just, who are you gonna, you're gonna call a fucking professional plumber, right?
Hmm.
Because they know how to do that shit. When there's a fucking pandemic going on, you rely on scientists, doctors to get the right information out, so this thing can pass over us.
Hmm.
And you just have to trust them, because you know you're not a professional. The person next to
Hmm.
you, most likely also not a professional. The person telling you all these conspiracy theories, where are they professional doctors? Are they
Yeah.
professional researchers? Not, most likely not. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, it's not blind faith, it's just trust. And
Hmm.
you know it is what it is, right? Like,
It's tough for me because we were talking with Ved, and
mhm,
he reminds me that I am I think you and I are actually pretty no, I almost said biologically. You and I are pretty ideologically lucky,
mhm,
in my opinion. I mean, we're both born on the west coast of the United States, which pretty much however you hack it is almost going to be overwhelmingly, I think, either like socially progressive at the very least, like socially liberal or liberally socialist. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't fucking know. But you're more likely, not guaranteed, but more likely, uh, to swing socially in one way, have certain viewpoints of a
mhm,
particular thing, and I don't mind that.
right,
I'm fine with that, but I don't think believing in the flat Earth, believing in like fucking adrenochrome drinking politicians, is
mhm,
not something that one just chooses to believe.
mhm,
You, we were like, Eved was talking about, oh hey, this person, you know, they are born in an environment where it's not just easy to say, well, I'm just going to have a different opinion when you are raised and you grow up in this environment where people are constantly telling you just through their culture, not like just telling you like this is how the way works, but like just by de facto experiencing the world and your relationship with other people and your relationship with other cultures. Like i- having this ideology is not 100% I arrived at it. It's like
Yeah.
I went to a school where my science teacher was pretty left leaning.
Mhm.
Okay, cool. I'm sure that had an effect. I also had an English teacher that was pretty left leaning. Cool. I also had parents that were liberal, I would say,
Mhm.
but like they didn't really want me to have like a straight up religion to be born with or to grow up with.
Yeah.
I had some of it, but like that surely affected me. I'm sure like someone would absolutely have a different ideology if any of those were different, right? Like I'm
Of
sure
course.
people of this area have a similar, if not the same ideology as me. I'm also certain that like the person that Aved was talking about is completely fucking different because the completely different material or material conditions,
Yeah.
right? So I have to remind myself that like, hey, if I was born under different material circumstances or born under different material conditions,
Yeah.
my ideology would probably be way fucking different.
Mhm.
Because I don't think it's inherently like a just people are stupid. Like I get, yeah, a lot of people are fucking stupid, but like, what things get massive amounts of people to believe these things? Because I'm not gonna fucking lie. The point of what I was saying is I am ideologically lucky, but I am not read up on what gets people this way. I'm not read up on the defense or the science behind this specific thing. I can't tell you how the world isn't flat. Like I get that like it isn't. I get
Mhm.
that. But the argument I would make at the moment would be one not based on science. You understand?
Yeah.
So if I went like toe to toe with the fucking dude who created the Flat Earth Society, I would lose and I would make myself look like a fool and I would probably get a lot of people who were on the fences to go to his ideology.
Mhm.
And that's something that I'm always having an issue with. Always.
Yeah.
And that's something that I try to be sympathetic to, but like when you see it, it's crazy. But yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
That's why I like cryptids, because I don't fucking storm capitals because of it. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna find the Jersey Devil, and I wake up fucking dead. I'm not gonna lie, I really want you to look up um the Beast of Bray Road. It's like a
Beast of
20-second clip, but the Beast of Bray Road is a fucking Midwestern werewolf. It's great. This shit, I laughed so hard when I saw it. Look it up real quick.
Beast of what?
Beast of BR Bray, Bray Road,
BRA
Wisconsin.
Wayward Road. Oh wow. Okay. So should I be looking this? Should I watch this on YouTube or this is a
I believe,
movie
yeah. Oh, it shouldn't be. I'm just trying to find the actual
in
recorded
Wisconsin?
video. So it's some folklore of a fucking animal. It looks like a fucking dog that's just chilling on its hind legs. Uh, but everyone's like, "Oh, it's a fucking werewolf," or like, it's the Beast of Brer Road." I love this. Everyone talks about the Jersey Devil, how it's a fucking gigantic serpent horse thing, or all these other animals that are like really interesting fucking creatures. And then there's the Beast of Bray Road, which literally just looks like a fucking derpy ass dog walking across a road.
I'm having trouble finding this freaking video.
Don't even trip.
No,
Investigating the
I'm
Town
not.
Line Road. So if you do YouTube,
No.
just do the first Beast of Bray Road video, search that,
Mm-hmm.
and you'll see an 8 minute and 47 seconds. If you just skip like a couple 10 seconds or so, you'll see like the still image of it. It's so good. It's
Okay.
so for anyone who's interested and
Watching
hasn't
right now.
fucking raided the Capitol,
Mhm.
go
I
look
hope
this
not.
up. It's the derpiest fucking animal cryptid on the planet, and it doesn't make me want to hurt people for ideological reasons.
Jesus, okay. Oh, I see it.
It's so good. He's a little fucking derpy dinosaur fucking beast.
Picture Danny Morgan. This calling craziest photo I've ever seen. I saw a wolf on his hind legs and wall. Okay, this was. Oh wow, okay. I see the still image.
Mm-hmm.
Very blurry.
I know, right? They all are.
Very short.
Right? Like, oh, imagine if this was a real werewolf. Oh god, it'd be so good. Just a little fucking little poodle just
yeah.
standing on its hind legs with slightly sharper teeth and a little like rabbit or rabies kind of look on its face. Oh god. Oh, that'd be so good. It'd be so disappointing. Anyway, um I'm certain stuff like this would make people, I think, a little more open to larger conspiracies like flat Earth. But I mostly find stuff like this benign, like not an issue. Kind of fun if you're just having a good time with it.
Yeah.
Nothing fucking crazy. Um, and like you were saying with flat Earth stuff, it's like I feel like the flat Earth is less a conspiracy and more of just a Ponzi scheme, right?
Yeah.
Like it's more of just an instance of getting people isolated uh, from people who would challenge their belief and just buying shit.
Yeah.
And that's the problem is that like there's nothing to buy when you're storming the Capitol. There's just prison
Yeah, very true.
and all the extra shit that goes into it. It's I wonder if there's some really good books like Manufacturing Consent in the United States, a Distraction, that talk about like media manipulation. I just wonder how if reading anything like that would bring people of the not conservative, the conspiracy kind of lane into it, right? Like
Maybe.
Manufacturing Consent by Noam Chomsky is like a mandatory bit of reading for anyone like wanting to get into, not necessarily politics, but like analyzing media and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Really good stuff. Noam Chomsky is like one of the fucking the brightest old people of our generation. Um, I wonder how much of that has overlap with conspiracy theorists
That's a good
and
question.
how they are now. Because I think I don't know initially if it's just the media or if it's something related to that or if there really is an uptick. But I feel like there is an uptick in violent conspiracy theorists. It at least seems like that's completely unsubstantiated. Um, I could try looking up any information to corroborate that, except I'm a fucking idiot. So yeah, doesn't know what I'm talking about. But yeah, because it's like a bunch of people protested the Capitol, and a fucking handful of those people attempted to fucking uh, overthrow a democratic process by breaking into a federal building
Yeah.
based off of conspiracy theory. 5 people ended up dying from that. Which is no, never mind to you. So I know I'm beating a completely dead horse with a stick here.
I don't
I'm just
know.
trying to like figure out like how the psycho juice is like jacked up to 11, right? Like how do you go from how the fuck do you go from, let's see, Charles Manson is a CIA asset to the Titanic never sank to like the other shit that we're probably going to talk about next week, right?
Yeah.
Like, how do you get to fucking 5G or COVID bioweapon or fucking ivermectin or fucking I have no. Hold on. This
Huh?
is good. Feral people in forests.
Yeah.
What? Oh man. Oh, we got to talk about that first next week.
Okay.
But yeah, how do you like? How does because now there isn't just like the health guru conspiracy theorists who are like super crazy about anti-pharmaceuticals and shit like that. Like
Mm.
there isn't just flat earthers now. There isn't just like your typical anti-Semite. Now it's all like Trump crazy. And I just wonder how that all came about. Like what was the I get that there were people who were susceptible to media manipulation
Mm-hmm.
already and misinformation, and they all kind of got not coalesced, consolidated. But I need someone to explain to me like how all this kind of like got jacked up to an 11, right?
Yeah.
Like where's the overlap with like the essential oils fuckers and QAnon? Where's the fucking overlap with like the US presidential like election was stolen and fucking George Soros or, Hollywood, turning your fucking kids gay? Like where is all this overlap and where do these fucking people come from? Like I get that these are real people and like it really surely fucking seems like they care. Um but like what is it? Like how do you go up to someone and say Sandy Hook is fake?
Yeah.
Like and you go up to to Alex Jones and you see him selling shit. And it's not just like okay, I
Yep.
will disclose that I am a fan of Sam Cedar at the Majority Report. He is a comedian and did some film stuff, and he has a YouTube channel and a website where he advertises like CBD, NordVPN, and stuff like that. These are his sponsors,
Yeah.
and he did momentarily work for Peacock. He had a
Mm-hmm.
deal with Peacock; he was making money from that. But like, he disclosed that,
Yeah.
and I think that's important. I don't think you know, big CBD doesn't want him to talk about like John Boehner buying up a shitload of fucking like CBD franchises. Like, but going on fucking Alex Jones's site, he sells everything. He sells fucking miracle cures. He sells like this thing that'll fucking make you live forever. And it's like I don't understand how people don't see that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes and says Sandy Hook is fake. Like I know I went from like, oh cool, the fucking Mothman masturbating to fucking Sandy Hook. But like Sandy Hook is I think more so than the Capitol at the moment is a perfect like mini version of the Capitol riot, right? Like Sandy
Mm-hmm.
Hook fucking happened and Alex Jones, whether or not he said outright or started the Sandy Hook thing, he perpetuated it. He caused harassment, a fucking
Yeah.
dad killed himself, like people's lives are forever fucking maligned because of this dude.
Yeah.
And I just don't know how you believe that someone's kid, someone's 16, 17, 18-year old is a crisis actor. This is a word I didn't hear of fucking before 2 or 3 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
A crisis actor, someone who like deliberately will put themselves in danger for the sake of like creating a story. Like, they said the same thing about George Floyd, that he's a crisis actor. The man fucking died. What the fuck did he die for? Did he die to tarnish the image of the police that was already fucking tarnished? Especially for like a lot of people in 2011 with Johannes Messerly and Fruitvale. Like that was the
Yeah.
wake up call for a lot of my generation, at least, of police brutality. But like that's what I just don't understand is that it's like what's the point? The, what's the point with Sandy Hook? Gun control? Obama didn't touch guns. Fucking Trump didn't do anything with guns.
Mhm.
There's like it's the most lib thing, not most lib. It is a pretty middle of the road thing to say that we need to ban guns. I think we need gun control. I'm fine with guns. As someone who might want to join the SRA, I think it's pretty interesting. But I don't care. But like, what came from that? And I guarantee you, the same way when I asked someone about like the flat Earth, like you just keep asking them and they'll have an answer. Like I asked someone, like, okay, how is the world like? So it's not round. No. What about like images from space? Oh, that's completely doctored. We're actually not in space. Uh, wait. So we have never been to space? Nope, never. That goes into the moon landing faked thing.
Mhm.
And then there's always variations on that. It's like, no, it wasn't by Stanley Kubrick. What are you, a fucking idiot? No, the government just did it. And then it's like, okay, so then we're not in space, so the images are doctored. And then you'll go to another person like, no, we have been in space, but the refraction of the lens that's taking the photo is like disfigured or like
Like fisheye,
misaligned.
the
Yeah,
fisheye lens or
um,
whatever.
exactly. And then you'll get the people who are like, no, um, every bit of information that you have on the flat Earth is there to test you, and it is a smokescreen to conceal your relationship with God. I swear to God, I asked someone this, and they're like,
Oh,
no, um, that's not real. The science is used to obfuscate your belief in God.
huh.
And I wonder what what threads you can tug at for Sandy Hook. Like okay, so they were crisis actors. Were they paid? Were they given favors? Like what? Okay. So who knew? Did the kids know? Did all the kids know? Did the administration know? Was the administration in on it? Like I'm so certain you would have, if you asked one of these fucking crazies, they would have an answer.
Yeah.
That's what scares me.
Mhm.
Like you can go from fucking Mothman masturbating outside someone's place and find again just off right next to George Soros, an unassuming font that says Sandy Hook fake. And there's a dude who is selling some disgusting life rejuvenating like snake oil, says this is a crisis actor to a kid, about a kid, about someone dying. And I just don't get the point.
I
It just
think
kills me. It really does. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no. I think it's I think it's the people in power um knowing that there are people like that, what you call crazies, who aren't all mentally there. Um who, whether it's have disorders or were taught, or not taught, but like raised differently, to trust, like um like just like most of these people, like most people who voted for Trump, are from the Midwest, where there's really nothing, there's no mass populations, right? Um, um, and just lack of education, right? They just kind of like, oh, I heard someone say this, so I believe them. Um,
But but it's it
and they and I think it's more of a like that's more of like not arrogance, it's just naivenism, like they just, because they trust people, right? But then you got the people who, because if you think about it, most of the people who get really out there are people of power, like people, like the Republican senators and congressmen and congresswomen and Alex Jones and now Dr. Oz is doing this bullshit, and these people who have power and know that, hey, we can control these people and we can,
Yeah.
you know, like, you don't
And
think.
we can use that fear
Mm-hmm.
that they have to create a voter base.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Into the
like
voter base, but they are making money off of it. Now, yes, January 16th, that was, maybe that's not what they're going for, but like they, in the back of their minds, like, we can make money off this,
yeah. And
and,
that's the thing is that like there were people who were aware of it.
mm-hmm.
You had Oath Keepers, you had Proud Boys who were aware. You had Congressman Gosar who said he would cover for these people.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I'm not willing. I get that a huge load of those people were just Trump supporters who legitimately thought the election was stolen, but there were people there who were more than willing to incite violence.
Oh yeah.
Way more. And yeah, sure, it's unfair that the fucking Q shaman dipshit is getting 4 years while some of these other idiots who haven't even fucking been arrested yet are getting nothing. But
Yeah.
like it's man, I don't even know where I was going with this. It's just it's like I don't even have I just can't understand. I guess I just don't have the imagination because when I think of the government, I don't think of an all omnipotent shadow organization
Right.
that can do any and everything. Like, don't get me wrong, atomic bomb, mad, nuclear destruction, sure. I I just don't think this is all intentional. I don't think there's a fucking shadow organization. I don't think fucking Jews secretly run everything. I don't think there are fucking lizard people harvesting children. I fucking don't. I understand that there are congressmen doing shitty things and there are senators doing even shittier things. But like it's like run of the mill. Like the worst thing I could think of this fucking like the last 2 weeks at the moment was like Nancy Pelosi openly saying like I'm fine with insider trading for Congress people and politicians.
I mean,
Like that's the worst thing I can think of. Like
that's stuff that
I
we
just
already knew was happening.
yeah. Like I feel like the problems that we have are things that we do know about.
Mm-hmm.
It's just mobilizing people to figure out what's wrong or
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to fix what's wrong or to apply pressure to those things and not like oh my god we're in the MCU.
Huh?
Harry,
Yes.
you remember the problem I have with all the third acts where they just have to throw something in there to blindside you?
Yeah.
That that's what all this is. You and I are talking about the first two acts of an MCU movie because we're in the MCU and fucking conspiracy theorists and the now the Trump wing of the Republican Party or the Republican Party are the people saying no, there's a surprise in the third act.
Huh.
That's what it is. And I'm just saying, no, no, it doesn't have to be that over convoluted. It can just be that.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Mm-hmm.
fucking uh uh and again, like this is my own personal opinion. I don't have information for it. I feel stupid just saying that because it's like I'm open to like the well you can't prove it
Yeah.
and um your understanding of state and power is juvenile. Yeah, you know what? It fucking is because my education is shit. And I'm like one fucking class away from a degree where all I learned was the definition of a unipolar and a bipolar system. Whoop de fucking do. But like, I just don't see a world. I don't see like a world that's actually happening underneath the world that's already like currently fucked up,
Mhm.
right? Like you have class struggle, you've got fucking uh authoritarianism on the rise, you've got fucking global warming, and who are the fucking people responsible for this? The fucking Sacklers, the fucking insurance people, the energy business, like all of that. Like fucking capitalism and shit like that. That's my
Yeah.
fucking issue. It's not fucking lizard people or Nazis on the moon or fucking Jewish space lasers because none of that fucking shit exists.
Yeah.
Except the Hollow Earth. That shit is fucking real, and the Mothman uses it to go from point A to point B to beat off all across the world. Okay?
That makes sense. I get
Yeah.
behind
Yeah.
that. um, but
Fuck. Okay. Hold on. Hold
yeah.
on.
Yes.
Before I go fucking crazy, we need to segment this shit. It's already fucking midnight in 20.
Mm.
So we'll do the next two or next week.
Okay.
Okay, let's stop there because
Yes.
I went on a fucking rant and
Perfectly fine.
with nothing to back it up except my feelings,
Mm.
which makes me no fucking better than these people. Um, did we want to stop here? Do the NFTs and the other conspiracy stuff next week, or do we want to do NFTs tonight?
Um. You know what? As much as I'm enjoying this, I think we can save this for next week.
Okay. Um, I've got some adrenochrome going through me right now. No, I've got some dopamine from how I feel about this. So I'm gonna research. I'm gonna research.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get an
Mm-hmm.
opinion. I'm gonna
Good.
get
Good.
someone else's opinion. Okay?
Yes.
Okay, folks, next week. Oh, by the way, I'm holding off on my review of Boba Fett. Uh Yvette and I had a wonderful heart to heart about our opinions of the show. And I think what I should glean from all of it is that I should wait until the show is done, just like I'm doing with Star Trek. Uh, Maybe give Harry some time to catch up as well, if he's interested at all,
Mm-hmm.
and then talk about it in its entirety.
Yep.
Okay. That. Okay. So, next week, ladies and gents, we will be going over anti-Semitic to point of no return conspiracies. And I know I already kind of jumped the gun and went to Sandy Hook stuff, but detached from reality conspiracy theories. So those two, the more destructive and violent and bigoted stuff.
Yeah.
And we'll be going over NFTs, which I have no fucking clue what they are, but they're a thing, and I have to learn about them to engage in conversation.
Yes, you do.
God. Anyway, any fucking way, folks. If you like our show, or I don't know, if you want to say we really came into our own at the 46th episode, feel free to watch the 46th episode and every episode before that at YouTube at Hitting the Mark with Harry and Mark. You can also tell us, you know, what your shoe size is, your hopes and dreams, your favorite oops masturbation moments with the Mothman. I don't know why I'm on that bit. It's funny. If anyone looks up Mothman and they see the big wing, like black silhouette wing, red eye thing, just if anyone messages us, just please message us telling us yes or no. It looks like he's the kind of guy who just like creep outside your room and beat up. It wouldn't even be like scary, like, oh, this thing is watching me, and I felt like I couldn't move. It's like, oh man, I was afraid at first, and then I saw him beating off, and I was like, yeah, just yes or no, whether or not he's that kind of person. At hittingthemark2020 at gmail.com. Or if you want to hear me and Harry talk about our days and our shoe sizes
Mm-hmm.
and our Mothman masturbation oops scenarios, you can hear every precious word we say at Twitter at capital H, capital T, capital M underscore podcast. Once again, HTM underscore podcast. Folks, we love doing this. We love when you hear us. And if none of us hear it, Harry, I love talking to you.
Same.
And fucking cryptozoology is great.
Mhm.
And it doesn't get anyone killed.
Sure.
Fuck yeah. Folks, you have a wonderful night.
Bye bye.
Auf Wiedersehen, asshole.